Hello, StarCraft fans. This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. And this is a game between TLO and Fear on Proxima Station, the Ladder Edition. This never-before-cast game features the Red Zerg player TLO in the bottom left corner of Proxima Station, the Ladder Edition, hailing from Team Liquid, and in the top right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player Fear from Dead Pixels. Alright, so a ZVP here. There is a link in the description to TLO's Twitch channel, Twitch stream. Go ahead and check him out. He streams quite a bit. He sends out replay packs to the people who subscribe to him. Really great dude. Just very easygoing, very fun, very creative type player. Sweden, says Fear. Is he Swedish? He could be Swedish. I didn't look this up beforehand. TLO's mad about something, and then there's something in a language I do not recognize. Something seating halt. Fear's ranting about things. Somebody in the comments should tell me what's going on here. It looks like they might actually both be German. They're speaking in German to each other. Ich is definitely a German word. That's all that I really know. Der Wordrichtung gefickt nachtschicht mal. Hofi doch. Yes, all you German speakers are laughing so hard at my attempt to read this right now. But much better with French and Spanish and English. Just, you know how that goes. Expansion on the way from Fear back home. He's got his gateway coming up as well. We got that double gas. Cybernetics core going to follow this thing up. We'll see what Fear is up to and what TLO is planning as well. His spawning pool is not quite done yet. We have an Oracle name ready to go if necessary. Again, if you'd like to submit an Oracle name or a Reaper name for any of my naming conventions in these casts, go ahead and put it in the comments below. I grab those, compile them into a list, and I grab the list when I need one. Pretty easy peasy. Although I have to imagine some of you people have submitted names and not seen them because you don't watch every cast that I do. But I promise, I've used every name anybody has ever suggested in a cast before. So take heart. Take heart. If you want to see which one I used it, you just have to watch all my casts. Cybernetics score on the way. From Fear, TLO's getting a queen, not taking a second gas quite yet, or going for a third base. I'm surprised by this. He should be going for one right about now. Unless he's going for a roach. Okay, here he is. A little tiny bit later than I expected, but obviously it's TLO who is off and not as me. It's like that Principal Skinner meme. I'm sure you've seen that one. He goes, could it possibly be that it is me that is wrong? It's like, no, it is the children who are wrong. Well, how is it? It's like, could I be wrong about this? I think is what it is. Could I be wrong about this issue? And it's a no, it is the children who are wrong. Yeah, pretty much how it goes. Could I be out of touch? Things like that. So could I be the one who is wrong on the timing for that hatchery? Nah, it's TLO that's wrong. Twilight Council on the way, and a robotics facility from Fear. That tells you pretty much right away we're going to see some kind of a DT drop or an Archon drop. Some combination of the two. Out of the Protoss player. Throwing up pylons at his natural base. Any aggression from TLO? No. His early lings are going to go ahead and knock down this debris. So good for them. It'll take them approximately 8 million years to do it, but they're going to try anyway. Inject on this main base? No, because the Queen's not here. Where are you, Queen? Spread and creep. Queen from the main base walked all the way out here to put down a creep tumor. Did not connect any of the bases with creep. Really more interested in pushing out this way and used the Queen from the main base to do it instead. TLO perhaps experimenting a tiny bit here. I guess he does have a Queen. Where did this Queen come from? Did it just pop? It might have just popped. Yep, there's the Dark Shrine. Not even really trying to hide it is Fear. TLO has done virtually no scouting. I mean, he sent some Overlords out. And he did see the robotic facility, but he doesn't know about the Twilight Council, which I find pretty interesting. I wonder how he's going to try to read this. That is an evolution chamber on the way from TLO at his natural base, down the ramp from his main, out the front door. We're going to try this. We're going to try calling this the natural and calling this the third, and we'll see how it works out. In the heat of the moment, I'm likely going to call them the wrong things from time to time, but just bear with me. See, no Adept going out at all from Fear. Warp Prism heading towards the enemy base. Dark Shrine is warping in. It gets a 71-second warp, and that is so long. 114 seconds on warp, though. On warp gate is what I'm talking about. Spore Crawlers coming in. TLO recognizing if you're going to play blind, get some Spore Crawlers up. You don't know what's coming. Detection and anti-air is super useful, and he is right in this instance as well. So, Warp Prism, ready, set, warp some stuff. What are Fear? What are you worried about? Okay, couple DTs, and there we go. There's the Archon. There's Archon number 1. Warp Prism comes over. Queen kind of ready for this. Ready for any kind of a drop. Just being positioned along this right side of the main by TLO. And free shot. Bam, bam, bam. Again, you kill the Warp Prism. You let the Lings deal with the Archon. Queens, your job is to make that Warp Prism dead. If the Warp Prism dies, you got this. Okay, all right, Zerg players, keep this in mind. If the Warp Prism dies, you got this. Another couple DTs warping in. Ling's heading out. They're like, okay, you know what? If this is happening here, Fear kind of rushed for Archon, so I'm going to go send a million Lings on up to the space. The Photon Overcharge comes up. The Lings, though, are going to go ahead and try to take down this pylon that is Photon Overcharge. I'm not sure if this is the right choice. Nice force fields. And the pylon doesn't even die, but a Sentry does. Sentry gives its life here. One of the pylon dies, but this pylon with 9 kills is still alive happily. Archons being dropped here inside the main base. Queen's trying to fight them as well. Not going very well. As it turns out, Archons have extra bonus damage against biological units. Good job keeping the Warp Prism out. Yeah, keeping it out here anymore. Oh, never mind. Got it picked off. And see, that's it. That's the end of your worries, Zerg players. That Warp Prism dies. You're fine. Totally fine. That was still not the greatest attack by TLO. 27 Lings died in exchange for a pylon and a sentry. That's what they killed. Yeah, Observer flying around. We are working on a Baneling nest and a Hydralisk den, as is tradition today in ZVP. As is tradition. Resources lost. 675 for TLO and 1,500 for Fear this far. So losing that Warp Prism and those Archons was really expensive for him. Killing the Observer with a Spore Crawler placement and this Queen who's almost dead, who survived the vicious attack upon the main base by those Archons. Ran all the way to the front door here by the third base, or the natural base. Dang it, see, I did it already. We're going to call it the third from now on. Third base out here by the front door. Fourth base coming up, the gold for TLO. Additional gateways on the way from Fear. And Zealot Charge coming in from our Protoss player as well. +1 ground weapons on the way. Muscular augments coming in. Centrifugal hooks or centrifugal hooks. Baneling speed +5 health is what it can be called to avoid arguments, and +2 melee attack on the way now. All right, Lings, Banes, drones transferring down to this gold base a little bit early, but there's worse things in the world. Spore Crawler going to burrow itself behind this third base for detection purposes. Just going to kind of leave this base to its own self, as there's an Overseer kind of at the front door anyway, so pretty good detection abilities there. Templar Archives on the way from Fear Immortal coming in as well, and pop! There goes the Weasel. 13 drones at this base already. 70 to 67 workers. TLO has a nice lead. And that income's going to help them as well with this gold now. Shooting up very nicely. Up into the 2,800s, 29, 3,000 minerals per minute. It's a nice place when all 4 of your bases are mining. You start losing this main pretty quick, but for the next couple of minutes, we're going to have a 4-base income from TLO. It's going to be very, very useful indeed. More Archons on the way. Templar Archives finishing for Fear. Going to get that Storm. Does he get the Storm in time, though? TLO trying to take the time-honored tradition of kill the Protoss before scary stuff comes out. So he's working on killing the Protoss before carriers show up, before Storm shows up. Is Storm even being researched by Fear? I don't know. He's making cannons. He's worried about this attack. Baneley's trying to find somewhere to roll in. They do bait out a Photon Overcharge, and then they pull back once again. You can't really just bait out infinite Photon Overcharges, though. I mean... Right. Oh, Baneling's trying to morph at the front lines. One does get picked off by that Archon, but the other one does make it back to his friends. Going to take down this debris. It allows an additional attack path up toward the Protoss base, and the Protoss goes for the 4th base here on the right side. There's a nice little way to get there if you happen to be a Zerg player. Spire on the way. Infestation Pit on the way. Storm being researched by Fear now. Exactly what he needs against this composition. You storm those Hydras a bit. Even if they have 90 hit points, they feel it, man. They feel it. Although TLO's decided, you know what, I'm going to threaten the front and then sneak around the backside. How does that sound to you? Dead Pixel's Fear, and Fear's like, no, I am very displeased by this. You have to sneak up. See how you have to sneak up around this edge, though, right here? If you come here, you'll get spotted. You'll get spotted by any Protoss worth his salt. So backdoor into this natural base by Fear is going to get taken out, and there will be Lings and Hydras here. The army is kind of down here defending this 4th. Yeah, Fear sends the army down to defend the 4th base. Little does he know, most of the army for TLO, or a big portion of it, is here at his natural, and there's nothing to defend against this. Oh, man, goodbye. Goodbye, Pylons. Trying to take out these responding Zealots, and doing pretty well. Zealots are mostly gone by the time they warp in. Hydras and Banes here at the main base, where the probes transfer. Oh, no. Meanwhile, an attack here at the 4th is getting shoved away by Fear, but there is red all over the place. Main base, natural base. Things going extremely poorly for our Protoss player. There is a Photon Overcharge, and Immortal comes in and tries to help as well, but look at that. Hydra using the melee attack animation. Immortal's coming back. Immortals don't do extra damage versus any of these units, but they're okay. They still do quite a bit of damage. Can they get this main base? It'd be a huge get for TLO. They get it. The main Nexus does end up exploding. There's Zealots trying to handle it. Immortals will clear everybody else out. The Overseer needs to run. Sorry, wait, what? Where are you going, Immortals? There's still Hydras here. Yeah, I thought he was safe, but no, an attack coming into the fourth. Nice storms! Banelings crashing on stuff, mostly getting absorbed by Archons, which is good. Which is good for the Protoss player. You can do that. You can absorb a lot. Some Hydras, are they on the wrong? What are you doing? Wrong hotkey? Possibly a wrong hotkey situation there for TLO. It's good to know this happens to the pros as well as us. Slings and Hydras jumping into this third base now that Fear is defending the fourth base. And coming up from the right side with a big, huge flank. A lot of Hydralisks here. 162 to 105 total supply. Good storm. Not a lot of Templar, though. 3 of them, maybe 4. It's going to force TLO back, but he's got a 5th base down in the center section of the map as well. We've got a Greater Spire on the way from TLO at the same time with Corruptors already in progress. 16, or rather 6 of them. That is not 16 of them. 6 of them, and there's really not much anti-air. Couple Archons with short range, got some Storm, which can be good in large numbers against Broodlords, but we'll see. We'll see how this works out for Dead Pixel's Fear. So 5 bases up and happily running for TLO. He is lost. No drones in this game. No drones lost is a huge deal. Huge, massive deal. Fear pushing out across the map, killing creep tumors, trying to kill static defense as well. By killing creep tumors, I mean now he is. Army coming into this 4th base of Fear. He's a little bit out of position. Some Zealots come in, trying to deal with this lot of dead probes. This is how many? 44 dead probes thus far, and the 4th base is going to die. Just too much DPS with these Hydralisks. And the 4th base ends up falling. He's down to 2 bases, is Fear right now. Yeah, he's going to kill some Hydras, but it is 69 to 29. Total Harvesters, TLO just being exactly where Fear is not. And it's working out pretty well for him. Hydras versus Archon, and eventually Hydras win that thing. Another attack coming in here to the natural base. Storms. Oh, the storms on the Hydras. Oh my gosh. Storms all over them. Killing some probes as well, but it's probably worth it to save his base. This is so many dead probes, you guys. This is 61 dead probes thus far from the TLO stir. What is this? Some Hydra sneaking into the main base. Killing these probes that are long distance mining. How did these guys get back here? I guess they killed the Archon. So this is a lot of Nexuses that have been killed by TLO in this game. Dead Pixel's Fear decides I'm going for it. Forget this. Time to move out. There are Broodlords though, and that's it. A good game out of Fear. Yeah, he saw the Broodlords. 6 of them, and he was like, you know what? No. Nope. I've got 3 Archons. I've got some High Templar. Actually, you know, 6 High Templar with some energy. How many of them can do anything, though? 0. 1 of them can throw down a storm, and possibly 2, but that's it. That's it for TLO versus Fear. Good game by TLO, I would say. Killing 3 Nexuses and 70 probes is a good way to win against anybody, really. TLO losing 31 Banelings, 43 Hydralisks, and 154 Ling. That seems fair. 13,000 resources compared to 12,000 for Fear. He just out-macroed. He's able to kill bases while expanding behind it. And that's kind of how you got to do if you're Zerg. You're going to go ahead and throw away your armies, but just keep macroing behind it, getting more bases, more larvae, more units. Spend your money, and eventually you can get the Protoss to GG out. But not always. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.